It's the last race in a grueling triple header. The Italian Grand Prix at Monza and the Tifosi are out in force. It's round 14 of the season then. After this, it's a 2-week break before the Russian Grand Prix. A further 2-week break just to give the teams an extra little rest before we go over to Turkey. Another 2-week break, and then it's the United States Grand Prix. A week off, and then Mexico, Brazil, and rumoured to be Qatar will form the final triple header. Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi round out the season in early to mid-December. In terms of the championship, it now swings the way of Max Verstappen, 224.5 points to Lewis Hamilton on 221.5 points. 3 points, still the gap, but it's swung the other way. Bottas is ahead of Lando Norris there as well. Sergio Perez battling with Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz as well. Gasly, Ricciardo and Alonso sort of in a middle field battle to complete the top 10. Further down on the board, Esteban Ocon has 44 points, Sebastian Vettel 35, Yuki Tsunoda and Lance Stroll still on 18, George Russell on 13, Latifi 7, Raikkonen 2, Giovinazzi 1, and no points on the board for Mick Schumacher, Nikita Mazepin or Robert Kubica. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes leads the way now, 344 points, 0.5 to Red Bull's 332.5. A 12-point swing in the title, it could mean life or death for this Constructors' Championship battle. Ferrari have taken a big swing now, 11.5 points ahead of McLaren, had a miserable run last time out. Alpine are now still just 6 points ahead of AlphaTauri. Aston Martin are all on their own in 7th place. Williams have taken a big swing to confirm nearly 8th in the championship, depending how the rest of the season goes. Alfa Romeo still only on 3 points, and Haas no points on the board at all for the poor American team. It's the 2021 Italian Grand Prix, and this is the first practice session before qualifying. Let's take a look around Monza, a 3.599 mile circuit, 11 corners. Been on the calendar now ever since the beginning, only missed one race, and it's celebrating its 100th year. Starting at the exit of the Parabolica, it's an important step to get a good exit and carry the speed all the way down as you start the lap, down towards turn 1, the Rettifilo from 8th gear at 350 kilometers an hour, brake down all the way to 2nd gear at 90 kilometers an hour. Tight exit as well as you approach the Cur de Grande as well. Rise up again at the exit of turn 3. You're doing 7th gear, 295. Before you come into the Dalla Roggia chicane, you brake from 8th gear, 330 kilometers an hour, down into 3rd gear at 130 kilometers an hour. Rising up to the 2 Lesmos then, the Curva di Lesmo 1, 5th gear, 200 kilometers an hour. The 2nd Lesmo slightly banked on the way in as well, 6th gear, 270. Rising now down the straight with the DRS open as well. You reach maximum once again, all the way 8th gear, 305 kilometers an hour as you approach the braking zone. Once again into the Ascari chicane, down into 5th gear, 240 at the exit. Down the back straightaway now towards the Parabolica. You have no DRS, you're relying completely on ERS as you come down. Once again, 8th gear, 340 miles an hour, down, brake, 6th gear, 270 kilometers. Ride the exit as well of the Parabolica. Don't go over the white line or your lap time will be deleted. And that is a blast around the Temple of Speed. We are all set for the first and only practice session before we run into qualifying. It's the 100th anniversary of the Italian Grand Prix, and all but one has been held here at Monza. It is the Temple of Speed as well. It's had several different variations, but this one is the best. 3.6 miles flat out. just separated by 3 chicanes. The Retifilia, the Dalla Roggia and the Ascari as well. Throwing the 2 Lesmos to loop you back towards the Parabolica down at turn 11. But the Retafilio has seen action over the years. Gasly versus Albon last year as well, making contact as well. Gasly went on to win the race, of course. Down to the Curta Grande in 2012, it was a repeat of 2011 between Alonso and Vettel as well. Almost identical to what happened 12 months before. This time it was Alonso off the track. And down to the Ascari last year as well. On the restart after the red flag, Lance Stroll going right round the outside of Carlos Sainz as well. He was in second place before it was eventually taken over by Sainz at the pit stops. In terms of the tyres, it is the C2 for the hard, the medium, the C3, and the soft is the C4. May be needed, may not be needed. The blue, wet, and green intermediate tyres as well. There's the Parabolica, renamed the Alboreto Parabolica as well, and it just feels a little bit different. We're on air at the time. We should have been on air for free practice 2. We've only got 1 session before we go into a Friday qualifying. It's a topsy-turvy sprint weekend as per usual. But the one good thing you could say about the sprint, it does give action on all 3 days. With a qualifying today, a race tomorrow and a race on Sunday as well. It all sort of balances out, doesn't it, Ian Birch, alongside me in the commentary box?
No.
Good afternoon, Dad. No, it doesn't, does it?
Not really, but you've got to try something new, haven't you? And to be honest, I was thinking about what I could say at the start of this session about the history and the badness of this track, as well as its really brilliant moments. I mean, who can ever forget the Tifosi over the new pit area, where the drivers go up on the podium and the Tifosi are just a sea of red in front of you. Nice things like Sebastian taking the camera off the cameraman and filming them, Silverstone is just as passionate, except as Dill pointed out, these lot shout in Italian.
They still haven't repaired those headsets, have they? They're still the other ones at the moment.
But alongside Mexico and now Holland,
yeah,
we have very passionate fans.
Absolutely, as well. This is absolutely fantastic as well. 3 great races, throwing Silverstone as well into that mix. You get quite a lot of good ones.
Do you know who has the endurance record around this track?
Is it Rachel Brooks's dad?
Yeah, in a Ford Corsair back in 1964. We used to have a Ford Corsair. Yeah.
I did think, yeah.
It was when my dad had a van during the week and one of the cars at weekends quite often. And I remember the Corsair with its walnut dashboard. The one he did that in was a 2-door Corsair.
By the way, it's repaired itself, by the way, our timing screens after the problems.
Has it really?
Yeah.
That looks totally different to the one we normally have.
That is the one we had at Zandvoort. I want to see how it's in this first session before switching back.
Merry-go-round has been merry-going and gone.
5-point fine from the ground.
The thing we've got wrong at the moment is because there's more than likely going to be a situation at Haas where Mick Schumacher stays at Haas.
Which wasn't what we all thought, yeah.
No, because there has been a powwow between him and Mazepin.
Yeah.
Remember, Mazepin's dad owns
the team, yeah.
Who actually sponsored the team. And so it's a bit of a situation there. And what we understand now is that Mick has been asked to stay for next year, but the management, i.e. the family, still would like to place him somewhere else. But they're going thick and fast. Nick de Vries maybe
in there as well, yeah, because the Williams
in its Alfa Romeo Sauber, along with Valtteri Bottas. But Valtteri has known about this for over a month. He got 2 offers that were serious. The other one was Red Bull, and when he turned down Red Bull, Perez was given the contract.
And I think Perez has sort of deserved his chance as well to stay with the Red Bull team. The green light is on the only practice session before qualifying's go. And of course, it's the only time of the weekend that we're going to see the cars not in parc fermé conditions, because after this session, they're locked down for qualifying and the second practice session and the F1 sprint and the race on Sunday as well. The F1 sprint this weekend, 18 laps. And 100 kilometres as well.
How this saves engines, I have no idea.
No idea. No, another 18 laps.
Because we worked it out. They're actually on track just as much as they, if not more, than when they would have had
for the qualifying,
1, 2, and 3. You still have 1, 2, which are both an hour now.
Yeah.
And but 3 has gone for this sprint.
So much so as well that they are actually looking, Mercedes and Red Bull, here this weekend, of after qualifying taking a strategic, if I can say that, engine penalty for both Max Verstappen and for Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. Because if they take the penalty for after qualifying, they'll serve it in the sprint race. Because it's a penalty because they take it after qualifying. So if it's a new engine, it's a penalty after qualifying, which is today's, which is into the sprint qualifying tomorrow.
I know
so
that
they can make progress on the grid.
Christian said they had something up their sleeve, and Toto was hinting that was it too. We've just seen Alonso there in his pits. He's been crowing this week because, and he's absolutely true. I remember him saying it, that he predicted George Russell
in the drive,
and a possible world champion. And he said this is the next stage for George. He's always thought that George was so talented that he deserves a top ride. And he says, and now it's up to him to show that the faith a lot of people, including himself, had in George is true. And what we saw last year shows that George, and what George is doing in a Williams have improved.
Oh, and Leclerc makes a little mistake at the Rettifilo under braking as well, going from 8th gear all the way down to 2nd gear as well. Over 200 miles an hour to 45 miles an hour max in the third corner. He locked the rears ever so slightly.
Nico Rosberg always used to just not brake and go through those polystyrene things.
Hamilton's done it. He's missed the apex at turn 2. Norris is reporting with the radio, brake pedal feels a little bit spongy, a little bit soft.
I'm worried about Lando because he's had crashes before, but this one seems to have done something to his mentality.
Belgium.
Yeah. He seems not as confident. He'll get it back, right? You know, he's not as confident. What was lacking in the last race wasn't really his fault.
Brake pedal feels a little spongy, a bit soft.
There is Lando, speaking of the devil.
As Danny Rick is trying to point out, that the McLaren isn't that good in really slow corners.
No, it's not.
And although it's a fast track there, the McLaren didn't like the slow corner.
No.
And it also, which lost them a 10th of a lap, and it didn't like the banking.
No, and the McLarens were very slow, which was bizarre, considering that on the oval last time out in IndyCar as well, their Arrow car finished second with their award, and they're leading the title.
Yeah, Lando said that they tried going inside, they tried going up at the top, they tried going down through the centre.
Nothing was working,
and nothing was working. And in the end, they went slightly before the centre, and got that was their best grip.
Here is Lando down at turn 1. He did what Hamilton did. He's just gone straight through the polystyrene boards and through the chicane area as well. The turn 9 is also an exit point as well. The Lesmos for a track limits.
Well,
and
Mr.
they've
Norris.
been told about that down turn 1. And the Della Roche chicane, turns 4 and 5, you have to stay behind the yellow line as well. And that exit of the exit of Ascari, that's a track limit warning as well. So that lap time from Robert Kubica, I think that is, no, Giovinazzi, will not count as well as Russell. The worst kept secret in Formula One announced that he will be joining Mercedes for 2022. Valtteri Bottas off to Alfa Romeo. That second seat, as you were saying earlier, Dad, still not told, but it's...
it wasn't a surprise for a lot of people, because not only has the rumours been done, but the history has it, right? Williams has now... This is the third Williams driver that has moved from Williams to Mercedes.
Yeah.
First of all, 2010 was it with Nico
Yep,
Rosberg,
moved over 9 to 10.
right? And then Valtteri Bottas,
But,
and now George Russell.
Yeah, 15 to 16 for Valtteri, switching over now 21 to 22 for Russell. So Williams are definitely the B team from Mercedes.
And
there.
that stems from the fact that Toto used to be a third owner of Williams.
Yes, he's still got a very large stake actually in the Williams team, as well as the Aston Martin team. In fact, Toto has got shares in more teams than Red Bull have in Formula One as well. So when you think about it, Red Bull's got
Yeah,
Alpha
Toto
Tauri
has
and
a
Red
share
Bull.
of the Mercedes team.
Yeah. And they have been very wary as well,
It was
actually.
part of his new contract that's increasing his share.
Well, at Williams now, it's going to be Alexander Albon, which Mercedes are a bit worried about with the fact that Red Bull driver will be driving a Mercedes power unit as well.
I have to pit because seatbelt loose.
Oh, seatbelt's
taken
loose.
off.
Seatbelt is loose for Yuki Tsunoda. That's never good news on the board, but Russell's still circulating. So, yeah, Mercedes didn't want a Red Bull driver driving their powertrain.
I have to pit because seatbelt loose.
But
Seatbelt taken off.
But it looks like that's now been dealt with as well. As Perez
goes top.
Yeah, 123, 191. But Hamilton was going fastest there in the first and second sector. He's about to cross the line as well, I think. And yeah, Hamilton goes top now.
I think
122,
Perez
262.
Perez is recently not done as well. I feel that was because he was aware of the competition from Valtteri Bottas, and he was over trying. When you've got one of these top cars, you've got to be on your game.
Oh, look, he's
and
actually
you've
so
got
slow.
to do
yeah.
it as smoothly as possible to get the most out of these cars.
Let's have this.
Tsunoda again.
Seatbelt is okay.
Oh, seatbelt's okay.
Seatbelt is okay. If it is okay, we stay out, Yuki. Please confirm.
Can you?
Yeah, all good.
Can you?
Copy that, they say as well on the board.
Obviously, he's been managed to pull the clip down. One of the clips couldn't have been done.
No, it's quite unusual. A driver can reattach a belt like that as well.
It's a bit like an airline belt. You pull it and then push the clip down.
Yeah.
So if you take your right hand off for the right side, you can pull it a little bit and just do it so that, because he's not got that many laps to do.
And I suppose because he's quite small as well, I suppose the seatbelts, he's in a position where he could actually do that, whereas a driver like George Russell could not do his own belts up. Maybe Tsunoda because he's a bit smaller.
Do you know, we have
could.
We thought about a situation, but the FII won't let it, where Yuki actually has a television set from a camera that's set on the halo, so that this is a joke, by the way.
No, but I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, what the on earth's happening?
And then he drives with the camera, a bit like they do in tanks.
Hang on, Tsunoda was side by side with Mazepin coming out of the Lesmos, and Mazepin was just stood on the inside line. Tsunoda just sort of turned into him as well, and I don't think Tsunoda knew Mazepin. Well, he must have known Mazepin was there. He came up on him, but Mazepin, for once, nothing there you could do. Watch this, look. So Mazepin's crawling around on the inside. Tsunoda comes to him. Tsunoda, look, he turns into him. Look, he just turns into Mazepin. Now, Tsunoda was on a slow lap there. So was Mazepin. So there's nothing really going on there. So Yuki getting a bit annoyed at his former F2 rival, Nikita Mazepin, there for no apparent reason. Maybe something's going on behind the paddock. I don't know.
Nikita has admitted that the move in the race he did on purpose.
Yeah, and it's fractured the relationship between him and Mick Schumacher big time.
There's been a big powwow and a lot of swear words from the team principal.
Yeah.
A lot of I don't care who either of you think you are. You don't risk yourself and other people and things like that. And it came out of the powwow that it's basically because Williams have improved that both of them feel that they're now just fighting for 19th and 20th.
Yeah. Well, they're the only drivers not to score any points on the board, minus Robert Kubica.
And that's made them more competitive with each other.
And that
neither of them wants to end up as being the worst driver this year.
We've got a yellow on the track. It's flashing up on the monitor, and it's a permanent yellow. It is Sector 9. So that is coming through.
We haven't got anything on the tracker.
No, tracker's not working. It's gone green. There's Sector 2 yellow.
Is the chat not working either?
I don't know what's happening with our Wi-Fi at the moment today as well. Don't remember, it's the F1 Sprint. Usually that affects the viewing figures because it's Friday afternoon. Everybody's back at school, work, everything like that as well. Viewing figures
Not in
never
Australia.
goes.
It's 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, green flag back out. So not sure what that was. Sector 1 DRS zone as well. So it's on the way down out of the second Lesmo. Maybe someone had a little bit of a spin or went too far into the Ascari chicane as well.
Well, Christian looks a bit concerned. So
It must have been a Red Bull then.
was it a Red Bull?
Well, is there gravel on the track? No,
No,
that's
no
Lesmo
gravel on the
1.
track.
Here's Lesmo 2, where Lewis Hamilton's coming through. No, it looks okay to me.
Unless, like us, he was thinking, "What? Who was that?"
Just thinking, now that this is working, I wonder if this is working with the other driver track. Oh, it is, okay. So we have a driver tracker up in the box, but no driver tracker in operation on the actual monitor. Well, that's helpful. It never works, does it, in this first session?
Yeah,
though?
virtually everybody out at the moment.
Yeah.
Mazepin and Tsunoda are still quite close together, and Verstappen is coming up fast.
Yeah. You
And
see, our
been-
driver tracker's not working. The chat doesn't seem to be working, so we'll stay here. What's that? That's a lap counter still on. There we go. Back over there. Our Wi-Fi's been terrible this
So
weekend.
I'm
so far.
afraid if we're not ignoring the chat, we just haven't got anything come through because of something. I don't know.
We had that problem. Beth reported, didn't we? That the chat just wasn't working. But we'll continue. We're still on air radio as well, so that's only part of it.
Maybe
of
Beth's
course.
on a night out.
Could be. It's Friday
It's
night.
Friday night in Australia.
Or could you join for qualifying later on? These times must be killer for those of you watching it in Australia as well, and with it being so late.
Well, it's
although-
early morning
Yeah.
in the United States
Yeah, these times, by the way, if you're wondering why everything's later, not just as the usual time, like,
and in South America.
yeah, if you're wondering why practice 1 wasn't the usual time and just having qualifying at 2 o'clock, it's because this entire F1 sprint has been designed purely for the American audiences, for those in those time zones.
What a liberty!
Yeah, I know. It's so that it's happening.
They're the owners, by
It's
the
so
way.
that it's happening. The F1 sprint happens midday Saturday.
Do you know, since I was little, I've always thought that bridge has got bigger in recent years.
Oh, the banking section, yeah.
Yeah, the bridge across the track,
Which is the banking.
the first bridge, the small one, it does look a lot thicker than it always used to. It used to be a walk bridge, but now it looks like you can actually get vehicles across it.
Track's awfully different from what it was in 1970 as well. They added the chicanes in as well, and it does look a completely different track. There is a
Well,
feature coming on that, by the way, for the sprint race.
I've just spent the previous hour listening to 1975.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
Amazing year for pop music, that.
We will be having a special feature as well that I'll be recording.
What, on pop music?
No. I'll be
Oh,
recording a special feature. Don't know if it's tomorrow or tonight. It must be tonight if it's for the sprint race tomorrow. About taking it because we've got no features for the sprint race, so it's for having a look at the classic Monza circuit as well, and the oval section as well of the track, and
Well, this
taking some
circuit
classic cars
was,
on there.
from what I remember,
On project
this
cars.
circuit was built in 54, 55.
Earlier than that, it's 100 years old.
No, the banking bit was built in 54,
That's
55.
my little notebook that's over there somewhere.
And we look
There
for
it is.
this, and we go for this. And
Let's have a look, sis.
voila.
That's it. Right, that's it.
Merci.
Yeah. The F1 big book as well.
Messi bucket.
Spa, Zanvo, Monza. Here we go. 1922 it was built on the Royal Park, so yeah, it's 100 years as well.
Yeah, but the actual banking bit, and I think
No, banking, yeah.
who was it, Ascari or the legend that won the first race in the banking?
First Grand Prix was Fiat was mighty in 1922, propelled Pietro Bondino to victory in the first Italian Grand Prix.
Wasn't he a dancer on
No.
on ITV Showtime?
No, there was an Italian driver on top of
Oh, it's
Monza's
Peter
first World
Bordino.
Championship race with Giuseppe Farina, of course. No, closest finish ever was 1971 Italian Grand Prix. Not
0. What? I'm going to sack.
0.010.
I'm going to sack
Hamilton, sorry,
Ted Kravitz.
Hamilton's gone off the track down at the Della Roggia chicane as well. He's just used over the exit curbs as well. And now Valtteri Bottas gets going. That's a nice little camera flick there if you're watching along with us on the TV. Hamilton top, 122.262. Perez is second from Verstappen third. Vettel fourth, Bottas fifth, Gasly sixth, Ocon seventh, Alonso eighth, Leclerc ninth, and Stroll rounds out the top 10. Latifi 11th, Sainz 12th, Tsunoda 13th, Norris 14th, Schumacher 15th, Russell 16th, 17th for Giovinazzi, 18th for Ricciardo, 19th Kubica, and 20th is Nikita Mazepin as Russell's on a time. And we go driver's eye as well. Now, we knew this was coming. They wanted to have a look at how it looked with a taller driver looking on the camera. And unfortunately, George, we can only see the dashboard. What you're looking at. We can't see much of what's going forward, so the FIA definitely need to adjust the height of that. But this is driver's eye then with George Russell. He comes around the parabolica as well. It's not really an accurate field of view of what we're seeing, because obviously George can see the entire track, not just his steering wheel. So maybe the guys on the camera here not doing the greatest job. But it's still nice to see as he comes down towards the Rettifilio in 8th gear. He's going to drop down now all the way down to 2nd gear, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Turn in, get on the mid-power acceleration at the exit as well. Control the rear slide, and that was a nice little run there, but the camera could do with a wider field of view.
So, Fisher Keller, what was his best round here?
P2, was it? 1996?
Because they're saying in this book that the last winner round here was Gianotta in F2 or F3 for Italy.
Fisher Keller never won this race.
And
Neither did Trulli,
of course, the Ascari curve is named after Albert Ascari, who won in 52-53.
And of course, Michele Alboreto has now got his name on the last corner here, the Parabolica. It's been renamed as well. In honour of him, because he's mainly the last successful Italian we've had in Formula 1. Of course, Michele Alboreto killed in 2001 in a crash in Germany as well. But
Alboreto's children, aren't they? One of them in Formula 1?
No. No.
No, I don't mean as a driver.
No.
I thought he was an engineer.
As far as I know. But the last corner here is now the Alboreto Parabolica. So it's still the Parabolica, but it's Alboreto in front of it as well.
We weren't too keen on doing the tragedies. This track has been very tragic over the years.
Jochen Rindt down there.
Yeah, and of course that weekend that started very badly, and
Ronnie Peterson's crash in '78 as well.
Yeah, and Italy has always been a with the San Marino Grand Prix as well, a very bad situation for safety, but this track has been so improved that it's quite good actually for safety in recent years. I think the last time we had a big problem was
a couple of years ago, Formula 3. Yeah, when the car launched up.
The car launched. The girl here who does the swimming, she came across one of the others.
No, that wasn't Sophia.
And not Sophia Flash.
Sophia, no, Sophia, I don't know. I think Sophia brought the curb
up. The one who did the swimming at
no, it wasn't Camajorda. No. Sorry,
Camajorda.
It wasn't Camajorda. No. She only raced one season. It was 2019.
And the lad ended up in hospital for 2 weeks because his car launched over the barrier on the inside of the track.
Alexander Peroni. As well, that was the accident as well. But he was fine. He got out of the car. He was all right.
Grid Network, good morning. So the chat has finally decided to work.
And Joe is over in Portland as well for the IndyCar race this weekend as well. Reminder that we'll be dual streaming that race as well, so you can watch it here and on the Grid Network as well. We probably do it on the Grid Network because those more features that we have here on there as well, and it's going to be a great one. Joe's on site all weekend as well. All the programming will be coming from Portland as well. I'll be in as well for some of the pre-shows and review shows for the Italian Grand Prix and the Grand Prix of Portland and the MotoGP. That's at Aragon that has just finished up their session as well. Marquez was stopped this morning, so at least he's doing something right. A track he does like, but it's a bit iffy at the moment. I can hear something over my earphones. Sounds like. Did you hear that as well?
We have a typhoon.
Yeah, it was a typhoon.
Jet that has been dive bombing us for an hour.
You can hear it over the back of the commentary box as well. Maybe the mics don't pick it up. No, that's not on.
I know Joshua just heard it like I did through his headphones.
Yeah.
Because you remember that the outside sounds,
yeah, you could revert
unless
on
they're noise cancelling, actually are increased by your headphones.
Yeah, and that's what we've got here at the moment with the boom mics as well. You can hear quite a lot more. That's why we can always hear if someone walks into the back of the commentary box. Still surprised, actually, that Sky's headphones haven't been repaired yet. I think they might be permanent, unless it's taken 3 weeks to repair them. It sounds like it's a bit of a permanent one.
Maybe they've gone to the old Sky Sports building.
To be
Probably
repaired,
sat on
yeah.
a desk in the Sky Sports building that they used to use.
They might get them back for Russia, Prepping with breakfast and return to the track, says Grid Network as well. Yeah, where you're in Portland, aren't you? It's the home of the Grid Network as well, Portland. So it'd be great to get back there. Oregon, yeah. I did see the 3-minute video you put out yesterday, Joe, as well on the Grid Network, and already planning on using some of that for our intro for the big race on Sunday. Which I said will be dual cast as well. Our driver tracker is still broken at the moment. It always is in the first session of the weekend, with Hamilton still being out there on the track. But on the driver tracker we have up here in the box, it's Bottas out there, Vettel, Hamilton, Ocon, Russell, Gasly, Perez, Verstappen, Latifi and Tsunoda. If Megan was here,
I
she'd
think the
see
friendliness between Bottas and Hamilton will mean that that Valtteri does in fact. He might be annoyed with the team, but he's not annoyed with Lewis. And Lewis Lewis has said this week that he's the best co-driver he's ever had, which I thought was a lovely thing to say.
Insulted everybody though, didn't it, at the moment? About
there's at least 5 others, including Jenson Button, that's not happy with that. Lewis learnt a lot of Jenson Button. He learned how to be calm. He learned how to smooth out his driving style. And Jenson's done that for quite a few people. And Lewis has actually done that for quite a few people. The interesting fact I never knew about Lewis this week is that he does actually think of one of these drivers as one of his best friends. And we've said before that he does have in contact with a lot of them, but he games quite regularly with Pierre Gasly.
Yeah,
and they're very good
Pistons,
friends, apparently. I know that that was one of the things Lewis wanted to say about Valtteri is that the dynamic between the two of them, Valtteri brought a lot of engineering genius to that team, as well as, whereas Lewis has always been admitted, I know he's doing himself an injustice, but Lewis has always said that, he drives the thing, he doesn't make it, he doesn't know how things are. If that's natural skill that's made him the greatest of all time, just natural skill, his professionalism is amazing. One of the things that's been said this week, and you seem to have missed all of it because you seem to have missed the thing about how this track has been tragic over the years on Sky. It was on Sky. But one of the things that they was said this week is when you look at the top drivers like Alonso and Hamilton and Max, the difference is between them, a multi-world champion, and a single world champion, is the fact that these multi-world champions seem to be able to get into any car and do a good job.
Make it perform as well, better.
Yeah.
Well,
it seems so natural to them. And this is why Alonso thinks that George Russell will do so well in a Mercedes. And I don't feel that you will have any conflict. I think Valtteri, he will be similar to Valtteri like that. I think they'll get on together quite well. They've known each other a long time. There's a great picture this week of George with Lewis Hamilton's book in his hand.
Oh, yeah. The same book I've got, I believe.
Yeah.
The silver one. The
walking after Lewis so that Lewis could sign it for him. And he was saying that
2009 then.
The fact that it could have been any Formula One driver at that time, he just to see a Formula One driver was amazing to him. Of course, Martin Brundle has had a big thing in his career. Don't like his choice of football team though.
Well, I think it was
Wolverhampton Wanderers. They've always been a bogey team for us.
I think it was Formula Emilio pointed out as well that Lewis Hamilton and David Croft from Stevenage, Martin Brundle and George Russell are from Kings Lynn. So I wonder...
Johnny Herbert as well, isn't he got something to do with Stevenage as well?
I'm on about the fact it's a main commentary team unit in terms of the fact...
I see, yeah.
In terms of the fact that the commentary box is going to be very divided next year between Stevenage and Kings Lynn in the Mercedes team. So they did go for the title. We know who Martin's going to support. We know who Crofty's going to support as well. So it's a bit of an interesting split between them.
That head rocker, he loves heavy rock.
He was a producer of
Heavy Rock?
David Croft, actually. Yeah, there was a photo.
I know him and Ricardo used to go to concerts
Yeah,
together when
actually,
Ricardo lived in
yeah.
Milton Keynes.
I'm going to grab it up here, actually, because I saw it the other day. A photo came out on his Twitter, so I'm going to actually go on to it.
I was right. Johnny Herbert comes from Stevenage in Hertfordshire as well.
I can't remember.
Yeah, little Johnny.
This annoying thing as well.
And
with
Rachel's
keyboards.
from not quite close by.
Not that far, no. So this is Verstappen. It's Perez at the moment. It's fastest on a 1:22.127 as well. Where is that? There it is. This is what David Croft put on as well. If I can separate the tab, trying to, and get it in operation and put it into the right area.
Mullet.
Where is it? Let's hope this works. Might not look great. There it is. David Croft. I've loaded it up on Twitter. There it is. He says, "Yep, there I am in my mullet glory. It took so long to record that track too. Axel kept wanting to dress up as a doctor with a crowd of patients watching on. I think he misunderstood the meaning of the song, and that song was Guns N' Roses as well out there, as you can see as well.
I
Patience.
like Guns N' Roses. Axl Rose is a great singer, horrible person. You know. According to what you read about in the press, I don't know him personally.
There we go. I thought if I clicked on it, it might load
now
it
you
up
can
for
see
me.
it's Crofty.
Yeah, there you go. There's David Croft.
Because
earlier.
Axl Rose was married to some big pop star from the '60s daughter, wasn't he? Yeah.
When was that then?
One of the Righteous Brothers.
I can't remember. You're asking the wrong person when you got this. This
Music is the meaning of love. So, let's have a look at what's going on here.
When was that
the usual,
released?
2 Red Bulls and 2 Mercedes in the top 5 there. Vettel's managed to have... what happened to Aston Martin last weekend?
1989 it was released. So that picture of Crofty is from 1989.
Wow.
So 32 years ago.
What happened to Aston Martin last weekend? Because I think they're baffled.
No, nobody knows exactly what's happened with Aston Martin.
I know they didn't have the downforce that but they can't figure out why they didn't have the downforce.
No points on the board for either Stroll or for Vettel either. As well, they stayed 35-18. Just grand.
Like another thing that at Zandvoort was the fact that the hard tyres were so bad for a number of the teams, especially Ferrari, and Perez got a lot of vibration in his Red Bull.
Yeah, what was it? Verstappen went to the hard tyres to capitalise on the end of the race. He managed to make them work.
When it was a bit lighter.
Yeah, when it was lighter, as you said.
You pointed out that.
Yeah, the higher track temperatures were just dripping them up.
Yeah.
Which is unusual, because usually with high track temperatures, the harder tyres work best. Like, when you've got cool track temperatures, you want the softs. When you've got high track temperatures, you want the hards, because they take longer to warm up. But it was cooler conditions where the hard tyres weren't last weekend.
The nicest man in Formula One is out of quarantine.
Jos Capito.
Jos Capito is back in charge at Williams.
Way to make it look at the Sky transponder that he's holding there. Usually it's connected via a different lead, but they've clearly had no time to put it up today, and they've just put the Sky transponder
Andy Peters
there.
this week said that the main problem he's found, because he's done so many outside broadcasts in the last few years, right? The main problem, if there's a sound problem, it's usually the batteries in your little pack that's on your belt.
I know. And the problem is as well, that's why I took so many with me to Snetterton as well. And the audio still sounded rubbish, mainly because I don't think Megan had the right one up here in the box, but it'll be changed soon as well.
I'm not saying my daughter's crafty. I wanted to be the lead commentator completely that day.
Couldn't do anything.
But, yes, you did it.
Hang on. Due to the blue suit, I think Vettel's qualifying was ruined by Mick Schumacher. I think it was both the Hasses.
Do you know, actually, I think you're right there, but...
didn't help with the fact that...
The strange thing was, Seb wasn't annoyed with the 2 Hasses.
No, he wasn't, was he?
No. I think he might have been a bit more annoyed when he found out that they were gesturing to each other.
Arguing
that's why they were
the team,
side by side. And it all stems from the fact that
being a big
Mazepin was supposed to be the first out, and he wasn't.
But the team told Mick he could go ahead.
And also Mazepin that it was happening.
Yeah,
But
so,
it made little rich boy a bit peeved. Haven't you seen how much weight he's put on?
To be fair with you, I'm getting a bit...
Everyone says Sonoda's been the one that's eating at everybody's table in the paddock. But he looks like he has.
I'm going to be honest with you, and it's been the opinion ever since the season started, but it's just got worse and worse. It's the fact is that Mazepin is just a... I don't know if you can say that word, but...
Him and Sonoda
Well, hang on.
were
Okay.
promoted before they
Okay.
should have been.
Hang on a second. What time did Just Good Friends air on BBC back in the 80s? What time did it?
About 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So before the watershed.
Yeah.
Good, I can say this then. Nikita Mazepin is just a prat.
Well, of course you can say the word prat.
Because I was thinking because of the surname of...
Yeah, because he's a prat.
Yeah, well, I can't remember
His
what it was
name
called.
was Pratt.
What was his name? I can't remember.
He's her first husband.
Yeah, what was his name? Ah,
I don't know.
Graham.
Graham.
Yeah, Graham Pratt was in Just Good Friends as well. So I just
A
wanted
great,
to... Yeah.
great actor.
Yeah.
Playing him. Played a number of different
Oh, it
roles.
was great, yeah.
In British comedy, and my favourite was something that he put in once, and think he just decided,
Yeah.
that's good. We'll put it in all the time.
Yeah.
He used to belittle her by going chuchi to her.
Yeah.
Okay, chuchi.
And they just put it in the script as well.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they put it in the script.
We were
and
talking about that
and
last
that is
time out,
very
yeah.
rare because he didn't. Only Fools and Horses will tell you, the cast of that it's very rare that he changed the script.
During the...
Yeah, he was just a genius, and we miss him. Hopefully, his sons who write might carry on some of those characters, but a lot of them are getting really old
Yeah.
now. I mean, David is in his 80s.
I mean, yeah.
And a few of them have died.
Schumacher's had a track limits warning and his lap time's been deleted for the Parabolica. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that because I think that's the only way you could describe Nikita Mazepin. He is not worthy
Well,
of it.
You see, when this is the son of a billionaire from a country that has a hierarchy.
Also, yeah.
If you've got money in Russia, you really are like treated like you're something special, right? And unfortunately, that is true of this country because very few of the top jobs in anything go to people that didn't go to public school.
And yeah, Julian Blue Suit's making a good point here that I think Mazepin is a paying driver. He's not just a paying driver; he's owning the team. His father, Joseph Mazepin,
Yeah, but you don't
owns
have
the
to.
team.
You don't have to be like that. Lance Stroll's dad is also a thing,
And Lance is a good driver.
Lance is a
Yeah.
good driver, right?
He's won world championships. though.
Latifi's dad is a billionaire also, and
But Latifi was great in Formula 2. Yeah.
Latifi is not only talented, but he's a really nice, grounded lad.
Yeah. It just
Lance has his moments.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Lance had a lot of
But
learning
he's
curves.
a very talented. What I like about Lance Stroll is that everyone was saying, like Mazepin, you're a paid driver, and that's the only reason you're in Formula One. Then he goes and gets a podium, and all of a sudden, people realise what we've
Yeah.
known for years
Because we saw him in the junior formula.
in the junior formula, that he was actually a very, very talented driver.
He beat Max Verstappen to the Formula 3
You've
title.
got to realise that his dad goes back. His associations with Formula One go back to Johnny Herbert.
Benetton days.
In
yeah.
the Benetton days, where he was the sponsor
Fur-
of
yeah, actually-
Benetton's car that
Yeah.
Herbert ran in.
Actually, further than that, surely. I think it was 89 even. Or maybe,
Yeah.
89 even.
His
He's been in for
money comes
years.
from textiles
Yeah.
and other industry. He's got loads of different industries. He owns Aston Martin as well.
And here it... Well, yeah, obviously. And here's Vettel now. Gosh, does he lock up
Well,
down the Rettifieldo? Yes. Oh, he makes the corner,
He
though.
couldn't bear the fact that Aston Martin were going to the wall
Well, at the time,
and
it was
needed
Force
a lot
India,
of
wasn't it?
No,
Yeah.
I mean the actual
Oh, the company as
car
well, yeah.
group, and they were really in a lot of trouble because of things, and so he bought them, right? They say there's a consortium, but everything he does is a small consortium with
Yeah.
the guy who runs the two.
Tim and his back manager.
What's the name of the guy that in Friends that Rachel worked for? Ralph Lauren.
Ralph Lauren, yeah.
Yeah, Ralph Lauren and
Oh!
Lewis's friend who does
Hang
the the other clothing firm.
Ricardo's gone top.
Danny Rick.
122.003. Bloomingdale's.
So, no, forget it. Anyway, Danny Rick, this is the most important thing, Formula One. Right, let's concentrate on Formula One for the moment.
He's
and
jumped.
forget
Well,
the
we were
fucking
talking about
people
Formula
with-
One.
Yeah, I know, but I can't remember. Highfigure.
Yes. Highfigure.
Tommy
yeah,
Highfigure.
Yeah. Who is with Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah, who support? Yeah, he's
With
one of the
Lance Stroll, I know,
sponsors.
yeah.
That's why Lewis wears those
Takes
clothes
yeah.
because they're promoting that, like the orange thing last week. The orange outfit last week was not just to welcome himself to Holland and the people of Holland and endear them to him.
It's a brand figure,
but it was about promoting the designer of that particular outfit.
Oh, those of you in Australia finally can cheer. Danny Ricciardo topping a session on 122.003. His teammate Lando Norris in P8. They flipped over right now as I didn't even know.
Emerson
Yeah.
Fittipaldi.
Do you know, I didn't even know. I didn't even need to know who that was. You can tell, even when his mask and his hat's on and earphones, you can barely tell, but that is Emerson Fittipaldi. You can just tell. The way he holds himself as well, it's Emerson. His
course.
grandson just alongside him as well.
Yeah, one of his grandsons is in F2 or F3.
Yes, F2 now, isn't it?
There's two of them, isn't there? Yes,
Yeah.
because one of them is a reserve driver
For Haas.
for Haas.
Yeah. Pietro Fittipaldi.
Pietro, he did a Formula One race last year.
Two of them, of course. Kia and Abu Dhabi when after Grosjean's
Yeah.
crash. Yeah.
I remember Pedro coming into his office in that documentary with the very first trophy that he'd ever won, and he gave it to his granddad.
My neck really hurts.
He
Sorry.
gave it to his granddad, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is for you as well. Yeah. Red Bull still in the pit lane. They're running at the moment 3rd and 7th. Perez 3rd and Verstappen 7th as well. And of course, I'm surprised we're not seeing as much running out there. Gasly's done 19 laps. Gasly's now done 20. Ricciardo's done 19. Perez 12. Hamilton 18 as well. But they've got to do more than that. This is the only hour they get before going into qualifying as well. And the cars will go into lockdown. So they've got 3 hours now after this.
Luckily,
to get it already.
it is a track where you've got data from the previous years.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed at all since last year, has it?
No. Nothing is.
So you've got the data from last year. One of the main things is the change in temperature at this track. Just a bit of
darker,
cloud
yeah.
cover can make it very humid, which totally changes the way the tyres react.
Dry, 80, air temperature 27 degrees, track temperature 38 degrees now as well. I should really put that on the driver tracker as well so we can take a look at it. I'll do that later. But yeah, the air temperature and driver tracker as well, not working completely well. It never does for the first session. Is it working on the other monitor we've got up here in the box? No, is the answer to that. No, it's not. It's still the same as well.
Giovinazzi there, he's doing everything he can to prove to Ferrari that he's worth their investment. And will that be as the reserve driver next year, or will it be as the second driver, Alfa Romeo?
What is this Sonoda?
No, I'm talking about Giovinazzi.
Oh, Gio. Sorry, I thought because
Giovinazzi. All the rumours suggesting that Ferrari want to bring him back in house.
I can see why they want. I think they want to put Giovinazzi up at the factory Ferrari LMPH categories. You know, the hydrogen hypercar.
Hydrogen hypercar, the hypers.
Yeah, in Le Mans category and the Daytona category as they
and also
continue to
become the
merge.
third driver for Formula One.
Yeah, back him up, and I don't think
It's a job Giovinazzi has done before.
Yeah, he was still driving for Alpha for a year before getting called up after as other drivers left as well. So it could be done. Lando now goes P3 as well on a 1:22,
Got a
1:03.
feeling he did it also for Ferrari themselves because they've got.
When it was, I think he
they've
must
got
have.
a third driver and two development drivers, haven't they?
He must have, considering that Ferrari's third driver is Luca Badoa, and the guy's like 60 odd. Must be. Honestly, that's no joke either. Ferrari's third driver is Luca Badoa.
Well, you're the one with the smartphone.
I'm having a look.
I remember you talking
Look,
about
he was
Badoa
pushing-
when you were a little boy.
2009, he debuted for a couple of races at Alonso. But Badoa must be. It must be getting on by now. Must be.
I reckon Badoa's about 47.
Luca Badoa. Here we are. He's 50.
I was closest.
1971. And he's still the third driver for Ferrari. I mean, come on. As well,
Well,
yeah.
you look in other formulas. I know this is a more strenuous formula than virtually all the others, but in IndyCar and NASCAR, you go on till you're 50.
Well, of course, he officially retired in 2010, Badoa, was replaced by Jules Bianchi as the test driver. But then after Bianchi was killed, he sort of came back, and now he's their third driver. Because anybody actually name me Ferrari's third driver? 'Cause
No,
there
but
isn't one.
you know, you're like
They have drivers, but no official third driver. It's still Luca Badoa.
you get a good driver that gives you good feedback. It doesn't
Like
matter
Badoa,
what your age is. In the sim, you can really do a lot of good for the team, can't you?
I mean, I think it would be smart Ferrari sign.
And Davidson
Yeah.
still does this for Mercedes.
Yes,
doesn't he?
yeah. I still think it would be smart, though, if they get either Callum Ilott, Robert Schwartzman, one of those guys in as the official third driver.
Yeah. I mean, the ability to have a third driver and also give him a drive in WEC means that there's not many times a year where the two formulas overlap.
No. And also, because of that as well, they are looking at changing the F2 and F3 calendar next year to go back to how it was originally, because they admit as well this format just has not worked because there's too big of
The
a
same
gap.
number of races. It's
Yeah.
just that there are 3 races.
Go on.
3 races before, wasn't there? And there's
2 races before this, and now there's 3 this year.
there's 3
Yeah.
now. Yeah. There's
And
2 sprint races and a feature race.
They've all said the format's confusing. So many fans have left Formula 2 and Formula 3. It's too difficult to keep an eye on it.
Nick de
It's
Vries
gone.
there, who, like Max Verstappen, is now Dutch. Wasn't he Belgian before?
No, he's always been Dutch.
Who was the Belgian lad?
Van Dorn.
Van Dorn.
Yeah. The other one. Actually, De
De
Vries'
Vries-
teammate. De Vries'
De
teammate at
Vries
Mercedes.
is the current Formula E world champion, isn't he?
He is the first ever Dutch world champion in motorsport.
Yeah.
And that's something as well that Max
And with
Verstappen is
Max
slightly
doing
annoyed
so,
at. Yeah.
so well,
He'll be the second.
with Max doing so well, people like De Vries who thought he'd had his moment in Formula One.
He never even raced, does he? was
No, he
supposed
never
to,
got
yeah.
a race. I think he did a few practice sessions.
Yeah, he's done
didn't he?
practice sessions, yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier on this year, wasn't it?
It's like James Collado. I think everybody missed out on James Collado.
Everybody agrees. He was Ferrari's a big kick from Hamilton at the exit the second Lesmo there. Everybody missed out on James Collado. He would have been a brilliant fit alongside Jules
And
Bianchi
he's
at
driving
Ferrari.
very well in WEC, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, world champion now in work as well in the GT Pro categories.
Yeah.
Hamilton's up by 10th on Verstappen's time, 1:21.378. Bottas P2, but Hamilton is looking good. He's been fastest first sector, 27.042. Second sector, 27.199 as well. So it's improving up there. I mean, just going back with Nick de Vries being here as well, there's now only one official seat left in Formula One for next season.
At the moment.
Yeah, at the moment, because the rumour is if Schumacher does move up, then it opens up the Haas seat as well. But the rumour is as well that the Alfa Romeo seat is either going to go to Guan Yu Zhou, Antonio Giovinazzi, or Nico Hülkenberg. And now Nick de Vries as well, throw him in. But so everybody's in there. But Hülkenberg would make a lot of sense as well.
So, where's Thingy going?
Who?
We spoke about it earlier.
Giovinazzi,
No. Our lad, Alex.
Albon, Williams. He's locked in.
So he's locked in
He's
now. to
locked in at
He is
Williams.
actually confirmed, not just a
No,
rumour.
confirmed. It was
So
announced.
no, we had
yeah.
it as a rumour.
Yeah,
but
it's confirmed. He is at that.
of course,
because
because that's why Christian's a bit with Toto at war over the fact that Toto doesn't want a Red Bull driver. So they've severed
Christian.
some of the links with Alex, have they?
Red Bull have said that we will recruit Albon if we need him, but they freed him from that junior program.
Ah, yeah.
But he's still a Red Bull driver.
Which it's a negotiation, isn't it?
Bit like Russell when he got called up to Mercedes for that race. The one now also, I'm honestly saying this as well, under serious consideration, and almost it was nearly signed for that second Williams seat, was Jack Aitken
Yeah.
But
He was
unfortunately,
third driver this year. Isn't
yeah.
he?
But Jack, after that accident at Spa,
Put
he
himself
had,
out the running.
putting himself
by
out the
the
running,
accident,
because his arm is still broken, his shoulder's still taking a lot of repair. It's up to 8 months recovery time, and that takes us past the start to next season.
And talking about broken bones, Fernandez has broke his bone.
Ralph Fernandez.
Ralph Fernandez has broke his bone in his hand.
Oh,
So that could affect his
Title.
chances for the title.
He's leading that title, isn't he, in Moto 2?
I thought it was Remy.
Oh, it's Gardner, yeah.
Remy
Fernandez is
Gardner
P3,
has
yeah.
had
Yeah.
the last two Grand Prix, hasn't he?
It's getting close out there as well.
Great, great riders, both of them.
Synthil says, hello, how are you doing? Very well, thank you very much.
Just finished school.
Yes, and probably a big Guan Yu show because of money. No, Alfa Romeo is not a paying team. Remember that they're not looking for paid drivers. Alfa Romeo.
They actually rent the team.
Yeah, they rent it off Sauber, who's very rich, and also Ferrari. It's a Ferrari C team or B team now ahead of Haas. So Alfa has actually got to put a Ferrari driver in its second seat. But they can't. That has rumoured to be pulled out.
I think
the
Synthil's had a
running.
good day at school though, because he starts his thing with "Yo,
Is that a good
how
one?
are you
Yeah.
doing?"
Hulk said he is out of the running doing the blue suit. Interesting. So that rumour only came up yesterday that Hulkenberg was in it, and now he says he's out of the running as well.
Of course, this is Megan's first week at college.
Yes, and she'll be here for qualifying, hopefully, all being well.
I tried to persuade her to be in for this because I've not been well today. But
No, she is doing.
she threatened to kill me.
Yeah, not surprising. She's very busy with her work. She'll tell you about it in qualifying. Adam is saying as well, and you can join Adam and myself as well in the commentary for the Grid Network Portland Grand Prix as well. That'll be on the Grid Network and here on this YouTube channel as well on Sunday evening. 8 o'clock British Summer Time is our start time. Loads of pre-race build-up.
And also, Nick de Vries, there is a link to George Russell, isn't there?
Adam says as well, Nick de Vries belongs in Formula 1, Formula 2 and Formula 3 world champion. Loads of talent, absolutely. And with Mercedes pulling out of Formula E, it would make sense for de Vries to come up to the
Am
main
I
category.
getting mixed up? Oh, is Nick de Vries the same one that used to be George's flatmate? Who was that? Went out with George's sister.
I
I think it is.
thought it was Callum Ilott.
No, I think it was de Vries. But honestly, de Vries seems to be one of those that gets the most out of what he's driving. Right? I don't say that he's a world champion in Formula One prospect, but he definitely, like Adam says, has a heck of a lot of talent. Good evening, Miss Beth Stappen.
He has a lot of talent indeed, and I don't want to say he looked into it
Or
because
Mrs., I don't know.
as Ed said at the end of the season as well, and on the Grid Network actually as well, in the watch-along commentary for that, he did say that he had actually been remarkably consistent. He was second in both races in London, had a bad weekend in New York with no points, but he had been consistent all throughout the season. So yeah, Nick de Vries has got the pace. He has just got to get the reliability up. And that is the key thing. But when he can, he performs really, really well. So maybe he is out there as well. Let's go over to the chat then. Beth saying as well, anyone else wondering how amazingly accurate my predictions last week are turning out to be? Just saying, smugness as well. Out. Just saying what? I can't say that. What? Oh, turning out to be. I get you. I completely glossed over that. But yeah, remarkably well, in fact. Especially with the fact that Alonso's down P17.
Well, the one thing that comes across from Jat's shark nose.
Oh,
the Ferrari shark nose.
Oh, so she's got Sky now.
She's got Sky. She's seen
The shark nose,
that
yeah.
was they really enjoyed that.
The full feature
you
that's
know,
coming on the
you know,
weekend.
Johnny couldn't do it because the insurance would have been astronomical because of his leg injury.
Yeah, I'm surprised Martin got to do it actually.
Yeah, but they enjoyed it. Martin
Yeah.
would have carried on for ages in that. They both tweeted about how much they enjoyed that day.
First time Damon Hill's actually ever driven a Ferrari, and I'm trying to wrap my brains. I think it was actually.
The irony is that that air intake, shark nose air intake,
Yeah.
was picked up by Fiat and Alfa Romeo in their 60s and 70s cars, and then
all
BMW with the 5 Series.
Oh,
They had that
yeah.
shark nose type
And stuck with
grill.
it for years,
Yeah.
didn't they? They've only just changed it, actually, yeah. But also, that shark nose sort of led to the development of ground effect at Lotus as well, didn't
I mean,
it?
the worst grill in the world was the Ford Edsel.
Oof.
You know, it wasn't a bad car. It's just that it
No.
was an ugly car.
Hang on, worst grill on a car, I think. You've muted the wrong one, so you just coughed. Bottas, let me know. I can't find a toe anywhere. That's
Well,
gonna
it's
be
not my
crucial.
fault. On this thing, it says Dad there.
Yes, but you're on Megan's headset.
This is Megan's headset. Yes, I can smell her perfume.
Yeah, I'm going to need to clean these sound guards.
Domestos.
My sound guard needs.
Get it?
They all need.
Domestos.
Yeah. This is where This is where I said lip mics would come better because you could just literally take your lip
Well, I
mic
prefer
down.
these because of the fact that you can hear yourself talking as well.
Yeah,
and
but you can with lip mics. With lip mics, you can as well. It's the same thing. It's just look. I'll show you. Look, I can.
Thank you for muting me.
I can talk on this one and you'll still hear me, but I can talk on that one if you still hear me, but it's not actually.
Well, don't
built
get too close to it. I've got to do
Ah.
radio shows on that.
Careful.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Merseyside on this very sunny morning and a lazy Sunday morning. Here's the king.
I thought Jack was making me a new logo as well. All coming across the line now, though, trying to get out with the toe as well. Latifi, Gasly, Vettel, Stroll, and Schumacher all out there as well. As Stroll's P4 at the moment, 121.676 as well. Schumacher stays 19th. Mazepin next across the line. Hasn't improved in his time of positions at the moment. Yet 123.445 at the moment on the board.
Into about time you started tidying up here. That is from last IndyCar race.
No, it's not.
Well, Dixon, Palou, Vipe,
Yeah, they're my predictions for this weekend.
never.
Yeah, they were also the three drivers
You
in the
really
crash.
think that Dixon, who's not really done well over the last few weeks, is going to
Yeah.
have a good... I thought Palou, really. But
Well, Dixon's fourth in the championship, closing up as well. Palou's second now, but they were also the three drivers that crashed last time out. I think VK is going to have a poor weekend. I think Palou and Dixon are going to have great weekends because they've got to fight back. But anyway, yeah. If you're wondering what De Banked says as well, that is Dutch for thank you, which is what I said when Verstappen crossed the line, that he looked to the fans, says De Banked, and wins the Dutch Grand Prix.
Synthel is Queenhaven, good evening, or something like that.
I'm not sure. But
'Cause I'd rather you say Queenhaven and go.
I had to
Not
write
you,
that down.
Synthel, Joshua.
I had to write that down so I got the pronunciation right. That's why it's...
Pronunciation.
Hang on.
I feel similar feeling as Netherlands. I feel lost power at the turn 8. Sorry, turn 7. Check.
Copy, we have a look. Quali, now we need to cope with that.
So there's a problem with loss of power through turn 7, which is Lesmo's segment of the track. So it'll fix it for quality, but nothing else. Okay, interesting. It's Lesmo 2, actually, at the exit.
Yeah, it's pronunciation, not pronunciation.
No.
No, Auntie Liz gets really upset about that.
Beth is saying Synthel's saying first of all as well, I think I can watch today's qualifying with you because my stepdad will leave, so I'm alone. Oh, great.
What?
So, big television.
So you can watch it on the big TV.
Yeah. All these toes as well, yeah. Oh, and Ocon's just been held up. Ocon's been held up by Hamilton and he put his hand up.
Might go slower than we will have to on our outlaps because of the lap time delta.
And this is the problem as well. It doesn't matter the fact that we've got qualifying on a different day. The toe here at Monza is so important, and it's now being practiced, and they're all out there going so slowly. Synthel says, all these toes, and Beth, so Synthel says, I'm so happy that they've put a sprint race for this weekend because quali last 2 years here have been, well, yeah, absolutely. And
As Synthel
we still got
points out,
quali.
the toe here has been... The problem with qualifying has been everybody trying to get a toe.
Like here, look, Hamilton blocking Ocon and Ocon putting his hand up. Beth saying as well, will Bottas do something special this week given he's off the leash? Possibly.
Archon Team Radio.
Very nice.
Not sure what he said then. Let's see if we can hear it on the PLC in a second. Oh, we can. Here we go. Is he going to come over?
I completely blocked me there.
Oh, Hamilton completely blocked him there. Yeah, he did.
Take it as a compliment, Ocon.
Synthel says poor Ocon as well. Will Bottas do something special this weekend? No, I think he'll do something special in Russia.
The traditional thing won't happen at Mercedes as happens at others. Although he won't be part of any of the development now, prior to, he won't get notifications about the development of next year's car. He'll still be a very important part of the team. They've got a world championship to win.
And this year they've got an actual challenge.
They can't afford if Red Bull tried this with Ricardo and it backfired on them when they were fighting for a championship. And Toto's learnt from that, right? Although he won't see anything about next year's car anymore, won't be very in the development. No, I'm not expecting anything between the team, and I'm expecting, as a person, Bottas is honourable and will do his best. He was annoyed last weekend, and he knew he was annoyed, and he knew he was being petulant, and that's why he aborted that lap and accidentally
set the fastest lap. He actually backed off in that last sector.
If you look at the mini sectors, he does actually back off in the last two mini sectors.
And it was really bad. Oh, Ricciardo's had his lap time deleted for track limits as well. He drops to P9. I think Synthos just puts something in the chat as well about that, saying track limits and toes will make this weekend very, very interesting and qualifying very dramatic. Absolutely. It's just a shame.
Chaotic.
Yeah, they haven't put qualifying on the usual day. Qualifying is today and sprint race tomorrow. And Lando, who just went P2, has had his lap time deleted for track limits.
Has anybody noticed that the Ferrari seems to they have gone for the area at the back around the
and then Ascari
engine cover? It's gone like black and red, spotty.
Yes, I saw. Yeah.
Right, instead of what it used to be, which was completely black. Right, I wonder if that's to do with them trying to reflect the heat.
Sorry, speakers have bust, I think, because I can't hear anything coming through them at the moment. And I was wondering, because usually...
What speakers?
The ones in front of us. Because usually you can... Oh, look at this. Oh, and off goes Sign to the back.
Josh, I can hear things.
Nothing's coming through the speakers. Forget it. Look at this. We've got a amount of traffic now coming through here at the back of the track. Who is it? It's Verstappen, Gasly, Alonso, and everybody else backing up down the start-finish straight, all trying to get the toe for qualifying later on. Sainz goes P7, dives out of the way of Tsunoda, Leclerc P6 as well, and the toe now being practiced as well. And they were warned, weren't they? Even Formula 2 and Formula 3 have been warned. Do not block into that last corner. You will get grid penalties. But is it grid penalties for the race, or is it grid penalties for the sprint race?
Qualifying.
It's unbelievable. I think the sprint qualifying is going to make it more worse than we need.
Yeah, we've had that clarified, that it's now called sprint qualifying.
Yeah, it's the F1 sprint qualifying. Yeah, it's the F1 sprint, but it's sprint qualifying.
Yeah.
Although next year they want to make...
Because at the previous thing in Silverstone, it was what's called the F1 sprint.
Yeah, it was very confusing as well. And next year, they just want it to be a sprint race.
Yeah.
No, not setting the grid for qualifying.
Are you saying
just a
that
race.
you can't hear Crofty in your headphones?
If I go like that, those speakers aren't working in front of us. But now they are, but they weren't a second ago. I've pushed up the talk back a little bit.
I'll be one of your little twizzling buttons.
No, it's the actual speakers of bus. This bus mix is fine.
It might be just pushing. Connection.
Yeah. Because if you take your headset off, you can't hear them quite loud. When usually, as you remember, it booms back at you so you can hear if there's anything we miss. Because what you can't hear is the speakers, but with these headsets, as you were saying, Dan, during the race, you can hear what the commentators are saying as well.
Yeah, I can.
So you can pick up things as well, but they haven't worked, so I've had to turn up the bus mixer, so they're coming directly into our earphones at the moment. Synthil says as well, and Beth actually, Beth saying accidental fastest lap. Yeah, seems to be that way. He did actually back off as well.
Yeah, he was determined to get the fastest lap.
And backed off.
Even though he was told not to. But when James told him to abort, when James tells you to do something, you know you're in trouble if you don't. So he did actually back off in the last two mini-sectors.
But it was too quick.
But it was too quick, yeah.
Synthil says...
he was so pleased, actually, after the race,
Daniel,
wasn't
if
he,
you want to go again, you have to go this lap. You have to go again this lap.
Daniel wants another lap up there. Yeah, and Synthil says, well, actually, I doubt that it will be more chaotic than Baku, but after that, yeah. I think the Baku 2-lap sprint gave us an idea of what the sprint race could actually be, but in my opinion, it's too long.
In my opinion, about Valtteri, the Valtteri that was at Williams, right, was a very immature driver, and yet 5 years at Mercedes, he is a very mature driver with a lot of A lot of respect. I mean, Max said that he didn't expect him to hold him up long, and when he approached him, he knew there wouldn't be any funny business.
And he let
because Valtteri is so trusted amongst the other drivers.
Whereas as the complete opposite, Nikita Mazepin isn't.
And Dill said, was it Dill or Johnny who said, well, that's the problem? No, I know who it was. It was Nico and Jensen.
That was
and
last
they
weekend,
said, well, that's the trouble with Valtteri. That's why he's not a world champion, because he's such a nice man.
Yes. Well, Damon was nice as well. There, he gave as well as he got. The battles with Jacques Villeneuve and Michael Schumacher as well. Checker flags out. The only practice session before qualifying.
I think it's the military background as well that, he's gone back to his military style of training, and that gives you the sort of training he does. He's very much on his own.
Yeah.
Very extreme, Bear Grylls way, and it allows you to mould your concentration levels. And I think that's really helped him. He's not a hothead anymore like he was at Williams.
So, at a track where they thought they would do bad at, Red Bull, they have finished second, 4/10 off the pace. It very much is looking damage limitation at the moment. It's Hamilton who tops the session on a 120.96.
Cruise mode exit last corner.
The irony is
cruise mode 2,
that when he was at Williams, Toto liked the fact that he went for the gaps, even though he crashed going for the gaps. But the whole fact that he was actually going for the gap was the things.
Working again now.
And when I tap the table,
you knock over my iPad. Every single time. Every single time. Knowing you'd knock off the laptop as well and smash everything else. You bang the tables. You're worse than Toto. You are worse than Toto.
I don't like breaking anything.
You are worse than Toto.
I cry if I kill a spider.
Speaking of which, that's still got rid of. Oh, and Bottas locks up coming into the Rettifilio as well. It's so loud now, I've got to turn it down.
I told Megan about the bottles down here, and there's now 3 of them, not 2. There was 2 last week, now there's 3.
Yeah, that's something. Although that one there is actually mine. I'll admit to that. That one there on the chair is mine. I just dropped them on the floor like Megan. He says, looking away. AWS should up. Yeah, I'm not even looking at that because it's so wrong. No. It's still wrong out there as well.
So Hamilton's clearly the fastest. Now, another interesting thing was when we looked at the lines, the prediction lines for whether or not if Lewis had done a much earlier third stop than having to do one, right, he would still not have won that race.
No.
Because
the car was so slow.
Yeah, his car just was. He would have been a lot closer to Verstappen than he would have been on his tail for the last 3 laps. But the lines show that he would not have won that race, and
it's a surprise. I'll certainly admit that.
So it's a learning curve there, and everybody's got data for next year, which is important.
And however, of course, now we come to a circuit where Mercedes are strong, and Hamilton was leading last year until he got that penalty for coming into the pit lane when it was closed. As did Giovinazzi, actually. So Verstappen, however, retired here last year with an engine failure. So this could be crucial this year for his title contender as they come through.
The dolly that they put Max's car on just then, I don't think he's centralised.
No, it's very wonky at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it nearly fell to the right.
Yeah.
Well, their left, our left, and their right. When they were wheeling it to start with, yeah.
Probably not on the markers. That's there. So that's the only practice session then before qualifying. And at the moment, it's
you can't see Lewis when you put the TVs down.
Definitely think that's the plan. But Form have got one. Look, here's Charles Leclerc with his in-car camera. You don't usually get to see these in the pit lane, do you? It's quite nice to see. There's the old oval on the exit there as well. Still in operation for demo uses and things like that.
Yeah,
but,
you can pay to use it.
Yeah, but you can't race on it, obviously. You can go around it at, I think,
as we said, Rachel Brooks' dad was it 4.5 days?
8.
8 days.
8 days, non-stop. They put that car around there.
Yeah.
I think she said.
Which is amazing for a Ford Corsair.
In the 1970s as well.
1964.
Yeah. Oh, 64, okay. So it's Hamilton top from Verstappen, Bottas, Stroll, Gasly, Vettel, Sainz, Alonso, Ricciardo, Perez top 10, Leclerc, Norris, Giovinazzi, Tsunoda, Ocon, Kubica 16th, Russell, Latifi, Mazepin and Schumacher at the back as well. Synthol says as well, this will be again the most chaotic qualifying of the season. Well, I doubt it'll be more chaotic than Baku, but after that, Baku was full qualifying.
AWS, what does that mean?
The Amazon stuff, Amazon Web Service, the graphics that are always wrong.
Oh, yeah.
When is the next IndyCar race? This weekend, 8 o'clock, British Summer Time on Sunday. You can watch it here and on the Grid Network as well. We've got Joe Samaniego on site in Portland as well. And I'll be joined in the commentary box by some very special guests as well with Ben and Adam. And Kobe brilliantly will be directing the stream as well. While me and Megan will be up here in the box as well. So it's going to be a busy one, actually.
Next session for Australian viewers and people in that area of the world.
2 a.m.
2 a.m., yeah.
As we see as well. Thank you for the commentary. See you hopefully in the qualifying. Yeah, we will be there for qualifying. Beth as well.
And Beth, if you're looking at Sky now, you've just seen the Sharknose Ferraris on the TV.
At Thruxton. I think it's Thruxton. Yeah, it's Thruxton, yeah. Not Snetterton. The start-finish rates are very similar. Okay.
They had such a unique sound as well, those engines.
Yes. Just realised I should better turn that down because it probably can be heard. Okay, what's been your memory of FP1 then?
When I came in.
Oh, right, okay. Hasn't really been eventful, but then again,
no,
Silverstone wasn't.
Eventful,
Silverstone wasn't either.
It hasn't been eventful.
Yeah.
But I've thought the sheer panic of them all in the last 2 minutes. That was a moment.
Cynthia says, wait, so you're live for IndyCar? Yeah, we've got the highlights of the last IndyCar race, the Bob Morato Automotive Group 500. The highlights of that is airing tomorrow evening. But we are live on Sunday night, 8 p.m. British Summer Time for the IndyCar race. It's also simulcasting on the Grid Network as well. For those of you in America and on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter as well. You can watch it all there. And I'll be joined in the comment box by Megan, Ben and Adam as well. Ben and Adam from the Grid Network.
Occasional noise by an RAF Typhoon.
Probably, yeah. And Joe Samaniego is our man at the track over there in Portland. With it being Grid Network's home race as well. He is on site bringing us some up-to-date information both from the media centre, and he's going to go out and get words with the drivers if any retire and just generally have a nice time. So it's going to be very nice. I'm looking forward to Sunday evening.
And Joshua's prediction for the race is Dixon, and mine is Palou.
Well, actually, no. My predictions are Dixon and Palou to do quite well, VK to do bad.
VK to do bad?
Yeah, he hasn't been looking good in the last couple of races. But I've got probably my words. But I'm thinking Dixon and Palou. In that, Dixon for pole, Palou maybe the race. But we shall be back for qualifying later on. Our transmission starts at, what was it? Oh, I forgot the time now. 4:40 British Summer Time. It's because everything's thrown up in the air. 4:40 British Summer Time. We will be there as well. No, so late. Yeah, we're live for the last 3 races, and they're all the same time, Cynthia, as well, because of it's the last triple header for IndyCar. We'll be back later then, but from now, it's goodbye for now.